Hey guys, it's Megan, and I'm here for FanGirl Wednesday. FanGirl what? FanGirl Wednesday. Ow! So excited. Sorry, I'm gonna tell you two things straight off the bat. One, I filmed this video 2 days ago, and I had some technical difficulties, and I'm filming it now again, and I'm not gonna be able to edit it, so please excuse any ridiculousness that occurs during the video. Two, I'm sorry the lighting is so terribly harsh in here and you can see all my skin imperfections. I don't mean to scare anybody, but it is what it is. I'll try to figure out better lighting for next time. But I hope you have your tea with you. I today am drinking some iced tea in a TARDIS cup. What else do you drink tea in? It's the most British thing to ever British. Tea in a TARDIS. But anyway, sip time. Oh, so good. I hope you have something as refreshing with you as I have with me, because this week on FanGirl Wednesday, because it's the first episode, I wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek into my personal reading preferences, but with a twist. We're going to be talking about things that are a little less well known than I think they should be. I have a series here that I think you guys should definitely take a look at, and a few different books and authors that I think you should take a look at. We'll start off with the series to get that out of the way. Now, as you may know, if you watched our introductory video to our channel that was mentioning, what we were going to be talking about, I mentioned that I love fantasy and sci-fi and things like that, and I love series. I'm the kind of person who, when I read a book, I want to know what happens right after that book, and right after that book, and right after that book. So series really, really appeal to me. And if I had to pick one series from my whole life, it would have to be, surprise, surprise, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter is gateway literature. If you start reading Harry Potter, you will start reading everything else. So check it out if you haven't, and if you haven't, where have you been? And you might be saying to me, Megan, Harry Potter? Really? After all this time? To which I will reply, inevitably, always. And if you didn't understand that reference, get off my channel. But a series that is a lot less well known, and I don't know why it is, because it really, everyone I think should give it a look, is the Heir Chronicles by Cinda Williams Chima. This is the first book. This is the warrior heir, followed by the wizard heir, followed by the dragon heir, followed by the enchanter heir. This book just came out. I originally thought it was just a trilogy, and the third book does end in a way that feels very complete and wrapped up, but she continued it with the enchanter heir, which I've not finished, but it's very, very good so far. And if I had to sum up these books in one sentence, I would say that they are Harry Potter meets The Hunger Games in medieval times, but set in present day. If that makes sense. I hope it does, because it's really what they are. And it starts off with this boy, Jack, who finds out that he is Weirland. He's part of an underground magical society that lives of people who live among us, basically what it says on the back. And he is a warrior in this society. And as a warrior, he is going to have to fight in a battle to the death so that warring wizarding houses can find out who's going to be on top until the next battle. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of there's a rebellion. There's fighting. It's very dark and very seedy and very stripping away to the underbelly of the darkness of people. It's really, really good. The first book and the second book are almost companion novels. This is about a boy, Seth, who is a wizard. Hello, the wizard heir. And he kind of meets up with the people in the first book at the end, and then they're all together for the rest of the books. And it's really, really phenomenally written. The characters are very interesting, and the characters are shown in a way that is... The author doesn't come right out and say, Jack is this kind of person, and lists his qualities. And she doesn't come right out and say, Seth is this kind of person, and lists his qualities, or any of the other characters. You kind of get a sense of who they are through their actions, more than what she describes to you. You get to see who they really are. And it's very interesting. It's very well written. There's a lot of twists and turns and surprises. It's very, very good. I highly recommend that you go out and you get the first one, The Warrior Heir. And if you like it, get the rest. Very, very good series. Definitely worth a look. So that's it for series. Now, when we're talking about singular books, this book is probably in my top 5 best books I've ever read. And I read a lot. And it is the 13th Tale. You can see. The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I'll have a list of all the books that I mentioned down below in the description bar. And I've bought all of these books at Barnes & Noble. You can get them at barnesandnoble.com and maybe on Amazon too, but don't take me word on that. I'm a pirate today. Don't take my word on that because I haven't checked Amazon, but probably. Anyway, this book is an amazing story. I can't say enough good things about this book. There's not a thing that I don't like about this book. Now, I will admit, the first 60 pages or so move a little slow. You have to get past them. But once you do, it's like, boom. That wasn't a very good snap. Let me try again. Boom. You get into this fascinating story, history, that it's just amazing. It's about this woman named Margaret, and she's a pretty lonely woman for reasons that you'll discover by reading the book. I don't want to give you too many spoilers. And she gets commissioned to write the autobiography of this famous author who's on her deathbed. She's dying and she wants to finally get the story of her life out there. And apparently, anytime anyone's ever interviewed her and asked her about her life, she's told them a different story. No one knows the true story of where she came from or how she grew up or anything like that. So, because she's dying, she commissions this woman, Margaret, to write her story. And it's this amazingly intense, dark, frightening, thing. And at the same time as you're hearing this extraordinary story about the author's life and where she came from, you're also finding out more about Margaret and her history. And that's also very interesting too. And it's just an amazing book, amazingly detailed, interesting characters, very well written. It's the kind of book that if you are a fan of language and words, you will love this book. It is very much written by and for people who love language. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing. I can't say enough good things about this book. I don't want to tell you any more about it because I don't want to give any spoilers away because there's a lot of surprises and twists and turns, but it's definitely worth the read. So fantastically good. I read it. I can't say anything else. Read it. I want to talk to you now about an author who is not particularly well known. I kind of bought the first book I read by her on a whim just because it looked a little interesting and I thought, hey, what the heck. I'll give it a try. But the author's name is Eva Ibbotson. I don't know if you can see that. Eva Ibbotson. I think that's how you pronounce it. I tried. And I only have 2 of her books in front of me. There's 2 other books by her that I don't have in front of me. The Morning Gift, because I can't find it. I know it's here somewhere, but it has gone missing. It has fallen into the black hole of my room. It's somewhere here. Don't know where. So sorry I don't have it in front of me to show you, but it's a very good book. And the other book that is by her, which is the first book I ever read by her, which is amazing, is A Song for Summer. And the 2 books I have in front of me are A Countess Below Stairs and A Company for Swans. You can see how beat up they are because I read books over and over again, especially books that are really good, and these are really good. Obviously, I care so much about my paperbacks. Look at this. This is just set. Look at there's tape. Don't judge me. But anyway, these are all period romances, and they're all written around the time of World War I and World War II. This book, Countess Below Stairs, is set right after the Russian Revolution, and it's about a girl named Anna, who's a young Russian countess. And after the revolution, obviously they have to flee from Russia, and they go to England, and she gets a job as a maid in an English manor house, and she meets someone and she falls in love. And now, please understand, I am not the kind of person who usually reads romances. I mean, unless we're talking about, the classics, Jane Austen and things like that. Love Jane Austen. But I'm not a big romance person, really. They're interesting, but they're not literature to me. This is really, really fantastically written, though. These books are really great. And when I say romance, I'm talking about romance. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about lust. I'm not talking about none of that. I mean, there's aspects of that, obviously, because they fall in love. There's attraction and whatnot, but there's so much more about the characters. The characters in these books are so amazingly well developed. They're so interesting. They're so well described and you just know quintessentially who every single character is across the board. They're amazing. Even if they're a boring character, they are so interestingly described that they're not boring anymore. They're fascinating. Everybody in these books is amazing to read. There's evil people, there's great people, there's kind of ridiculous people, they're funny, they break your heart, they're really, really, really good. I highly recommend giving these books a read. I'm so sorry that I don't have A Song for Summer and The Morning Gift to show you. But they are these books by Eva Ibbotson. They're period romances. The second one, it takes place right before World War II, and it's about a girl who runs away to be part of a ballet company that goes to the Amazon, and she meets somebody and she falls in love. But again, the characters are amazing. They're so well described, so fantastically. Oh, they're great. She's a great author. Maybe she's not as well known today because these books were written in the 80s, not set in the 80s, thank God, but written in the 80s, published in the 80s. But they're amazing. I highly, highly recommend you give them a look. And if you're going to go for one of them, any of them, get A Song for Summer. It's sensational. It's set right before World War II, through World War II, and after it. And it's... That one is so much more than a romance. There's... Amazing. Amazing. Give them a read. If you like romance. If you don't, then you might be like... And I don't really either like romance, but the character development and the characters in these books... Amazing. Also, the writing in these books is fantastic. It's sensational. These are the kind of books where you want to read them aloud just so you can say the sentences because they sound so great. Oh, I can't stop. I gotta move away from that. This video is like 1 billion years long. The last book I want to talk to you about, yes, the last one, I told you, sneak peek into my reading preferences, is this book, 19 Minutes, by Jodi Picoult. Now, a lot of people know this author. I'm not saying I'm the only one who knows about her. Obviously not. She's had books of hers turned into movies, most notably My Sister's Keeper, which if you read that book, you know they changed the end of the movie. I understand why they changed the end of the movie, because what happens in the book is so terribly, terribly sad. I get it, but you know as a reader, when a book that you love becomes a movie and they change something, you die a little inside. Fans of the Percy Jackson series know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone who reads Percy Jackson and didn't want to kill the producers of that movie... I digress. But anyway, one of my favorite books by her is 19 Minutes. And it's not as well known as some of her other books. And I'm not going to lie, this is a very difficult read. Not because it's hard to understand the words or something like that, but because it is about a school shooting in a small town. And now I, thank God, have never been part of anything like this. And I'm so sorry if you ever have been. And if you ever have been part of something like that, maybe you want to pass this up. Or, I don't know. But it's... This book is so intense. It starts with the school shooting, which takes 19 minutes. That's why the book is named 19 Minutes. And it goes on with flashbacks to what happened before and what led up to this boy going into the school, and the trial and everything that happens afterwards and things that come out. And it's just so... On the front it says thought-provoking, and that's exactly what it is. It is thought-provoking and compelling. It will make you question things. It will make you think. It will make you stop and reassess where you previously stood on things, which is what good writing really should do. It should make you question and think. And this book absolutely does that 100%. It's an amazing read. It's a difficult read, I'm not going to lie. I had to put it down a couple times and step away because Jodi Picoult, if you've ever read anything about her, she has this way of stripping things to the bone while embellishing them at the same time, and it's fiercely honest and real and rough and painful and dark. But that's what life is sometimes. And it's an amazing book. I highly, highly, highly recommend you give it a read. Another book of hers, which I don't have in front of me because I wasn't thinking of mentioning it, is Keeping Faith, which is a very interesting story about a little girl who develops stigmata, and it's just really interesting. But this is a fascinating look. I think she does a very good job at describing what the people involved are going through and how painful and horrifying and shattering something like this is. 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult. Seriously worth a read. Very serious book, difficult book, but worth it. Okay. Oh, I see this is over 16 minutes now, so we're gonna stop. Not that I have anything else to talk to you guys about. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of FanGirl Wednesday. Next week, we will not be talking about a book. We will be talking about the Series 3 premiere of Sherlock. So excited. So happy. It's, if you haven't watched Sherlock before, what are you doing with your life? The first 2 seasons are on Netflix. They're amazing. Go watch them, and then watch the premiere of season 3 this Sunday on PBS at 10 o'clock, I believe. Check your local listings. And you will not be disappointed. Next week, we're going to be talking about the premiere episode of season 3, because I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. If you've watched Sherlock, you know the cliffhanger that we were left with last season, which was, by the way, 2 years ago. Thanks, Stephen Moffat. I'm getting upset. I'm gonna say goodbye, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed our time together. Enjoy your tea. Sipped. Ah, delicious. Hope you enjoy your tea. Hope you enjoy your reading, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.